So you have solve by graphing, solve by substitution, and today, solve by elimination. Step 1. Steps are important. Make two coefficients opposite or opposites by multiplying one or both equations. I'll show you what that means here now. Okay, step 2. Add.
I can't see.
Add the two equations together. Step 3. Step 3 and step 4 is the last two steps in your substitution that you did. So once you solve for one of the variables to get the other variable, you substitute it back into one of the original equations. So step 3 is substitute into the original equation. Step 4 is solve. Okay? So 3 and 4 are exactly what you did for substitution. Alright, the hard part is the first step, if you want to think of it being difficult. So here is your first easy example. Negative 9x plus 4y equals negative 17, and 9x minus 6y equals 3. Alright, so there's your system. Step 1, make two coefficients opposites. Do you already have two coefficients that are opposites?
Yes.
Then you don't need to do step 1. Step 2, add the two equations together. So this is what it looks like. And you add vertically just like you do if you have two big numbers adding together. So, the first column, negative 17 plus 3 is what? Negative 14. 4 plus negative 6. Everybody with me? What's the matter?
I don't get how you did the first step.
It was already done.
Oh.
I didn't need to do anything because I already had a negative 9 and a positive 9.
Okay.
Two of the coefficients were already opposites.
Okay.
Okay, these two aren't opposites, but they could be in another problem. Okay? Negative 6 is not opposite of 4.
Signs are opposite.
I didn't say the signs. I said the coefficients. Alright, so this is negative 2y, and then these go to 0. Negative 9 plus positive 9 is 0. So now what am I left with? One variable. What do? How do I get y by itself? Am I pointing to anybody over here? The negative 2. Y equals positive 7. And what do we do with that? Yeah, plug it back into one of these. So negative 9x, I'll take the top one, plus 4 times the new y. And now you solve for x. Everybody solve. Easy? This one's easy. You have to do step 1. Why are you using a calculator?
For negative 17 minus 28.
Really? Advanced class. Not advanced. Token. You need to go.
No. How do you How do you get an opposite if they're not already opposite?
I'm going to show you in this next example. Yeah.
So do we only use one of the equations to?
To substitute
Yeah.
back into? Yeah.
Okay, so
Doesn't matter which one.
No.
yeah.
No.
Okay.
But make sure you're doing it in the original equation.
Oh.
Okay, so what's my answer? These two equations cross at 5, 7. That's your answer. You could have solved them by graphing. You could have solved it by substitution. We solved it by elimination. All right, example 2 is the harder one. And I just randomly chose some coefficients, and I got some very wild fractions. And I did that on purpose to make it harder. All right? So 1/2 x minus 3y equals 6. And 3x minus 4y equals 7.
I think I know.
Reggie, I found a mistake on here. So.
All right.
Okay, none of these are opposite, are they? Okay, but remember what you learned early on. So you can do anything to an equation you want, provided you follow some rules. I can multiply, I can add, I can subtract, I can divide. If I add or subtract, I do it once on each side of the equal sign. If I multiply, I got to do to every term. I can think of it like common denominators. What's common between 3 and 4? 12. So I'd have to multiply this by 4 and this one by 3. And one of them would have to be negative to switch the sign, right? That's what you're doing. But the rule is you must multiply all the terms in that equation by whatever it is you're doing. So if I wanted to multiply this by 4, everything gets multiplied by 4. This one, I need it to be since that's going to be negative 12, I want this to be a positive 12, right? So what am I going to multiply this one by? Negative 3. So everything gets multiplied by a negative 3.
Wouldn't it be easier just to multiply 1/2 by -6? The top equation by -6?
Yes, you could. My point was to show you how to change both equations.
Okay.
If you only need to change one equation, then only change one equation. Okay? So do y'all get it? You are now in control of changing your equations. Understand? That's what we've been working towards. Now, what do we get? This becomes 2x, the top equation, minus 12y equals 24. The bottom equation becomes negative 9x plus 12y equals negative 21. That's step 1. Most of your homework, you'll only need to change one equation, okay? All right, now add these two together. 2 plus negative 9 is negative 7. Negative 12 plus 12, 0. And 24 plus negative 21, 3. X equals negative 3/7. Now, to save time, what do? Substitute this back into one of these equations. I'm not going to do that. It's going to take too much time. You've already learned how to do that. But this is how you do step 1. Now, does everybody understand? You don't have to change both equations if you don't need to. You can change one equation if you want. If that's all you need. Like Luke said, he understood that if you multiply this by negative 6, you get negative 3 on the top. You wouldn't have to change the bottom one at all. So now it comes down to you actually looking at your problem and reading the problem and seeing what needs to be done best. And after today, you then get a system of equations and it says, what method are you going to use? Graphing, substitution, or elimination? So you have to look at your problem and decide, what do I want to do to solve this? You understand? So today you need to make sure you master elimination. Got it? All right, what was the assignment again?
Page 447,
447,
4 to 20 even,
4 to 20 even.
and 26 to 32 even.
All right. do Tuesday.
Oh, so Tuesday?